What's up, guys? We are back. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. So Unexpected, Season 5. We're on Episode 12. This is Part 2 of the podcast. We have 2 more couples to talk about, right? So Emerson is still staying with Mason. And this was only supposed to be temporary, right? So we find out that Erica, Emerson's mom, made a phone call to Mason directly and told him, "You are no longer allowed in my house, ever." And Emerson feels like this is extremely volatile and excessive and extra. Like, yes, they broke her rule. Yes, they shouldn't have went against what she said and what Sai said. But is this the proper punishment for the crime? And I'm wondering that too, because this has pushed Emerson out of the house. And she is kind of at this position where I don't feel like I can go back. And I know she's an adult, she's grown, but you should always leave your parents' house when you're ready. You shouldn't leave because you feel like you have to or there's hard feelings. So this makes me wonder how their relationship is going to be in the future, because she's holding some animosity towards her mom, and her mom isn't really looking to make right. You know, she just feels like, oh, well, I'm right. Their house is not safe. She should want to be here. She even referred to Mason's parents' house as a halfway house. Like, I feel like there's some volatile language being thrown around. I really wish they could all just sit down and have a conversation, because I feel like she doesn't know what takes place in that household, just like Mason's parents don't know what takes place in Emerson's mom's household as well. I just want them to be more on the same page and less shifting hateful words towards each other, because let's be honest here, the baby is who's going to suffer. The baby needs to have a relationship with both sides of the family. The baby needs to be able to see them, and there shouldn't be animosity. Babies can pick up on negative energy.
Well, I think a lot of it is that I think Erica is deeply hurt. I think she's deeply hurt because she feels like, one, she was kind of betrayed by them not listening to her rules in the house. 2, I think she feels like she kind of lost some type of control, because with her daughter being 18, she was just kind of like, well, I don't have to listen to your rules. I'm going to leave. So, and then she just had a baby not that long ago. So you figure women, they go through the postpartum, they go through like their body changing and everything. So I think that with all the emotions running high, she has a lot going on. All she really needs is that love and support. So I think that she's just really, truly hurt. You know, she feels like she's like, I don't want to say losing her daughter, but, you know, she doesn't have her under her roof anymore. Kind of agree with Mason's dad, where it's like, I understand if you don't want him spending the night. That's, you know, one thing.
Right.
But to say that he can't come over at all, even if it was supervised, like if, you know, Erica inside her home, that's kind of a lot, because she's going to want the baby to be around the father. So, and that scenario, I agree with him, because it's like, yeah, you don't have to have the whole sleepover. I get it. But they should at least be able to have that bonding time. So that way she could still live with you, and she could still have him there, and it's like kind of like the best of both worlds. So hopefully maybe once things calm down and cool off a little bit, they could come back to it. I mean, obviously she's speaking out of her. The things that she's saying about Mason's family is kind of strong, and and but you know what? That's her feelings, and she's like, probably, like I said, talking out of hurt and anger. And, you know, it's not fair, because, I mean, obviously Mason's mom is trying to turn her life around, or at least we think she's trying to turn her life around. We don't see too much of her, so I don't know. But they need a lot of healing. This family needs healing, and they need to really just talk things out, because like you said, the baby comes first, and the baby needs his parents, the grandparents, the love and support. So I wish them the best. I hope that they can squash all this.
I do too. I want to see Emerson and her mom's relationship back. And like I said, Mateo is the most important person here. All personal feelings are important, but they're secondary when it comes to that baby. All right, so I want to switch gears, and I want to talk about Jenna and Aiden, right? So they're on their family beach vacation, which we all thought was going to be a train wreck, which so far has not been a train wreck. Heather and Matt are getting along just fine. Heather, Kathy, and Jenna all went on a yoga date together, and everyone is getting along great. The only person who isn't enjoying the vacation is Aiden. Even Luca's having a great time. He loves the beach. Aiden is the only person who feels like this vacation is forced, and he would rather be literally anywhere in the world other than here. And his reasons, I want to explain his reasons first. He said that he gets 1 week off per year. So he works 51 weeks a year, and there's 1 week that he gets to himself. And this was not the vacation that he would have chosen with all of her family on it. Now, I will be a little bit on Aiden's side. It's not always easy being around your in-laws or your person who you're with family all the time. So I do understand that maybe they should have planned the vacation where it was their vacation and then the parents came up for 2 or 3 days. So there was some time where they could just be a family on their own. So I do agree with him to an extent. You know, when you have a family, you have a child, you want to spend bonding time with them. And especially when you work so much, he works all throughout the year. He doesn't really get holidays. He doesn't really get vacation time. So I do agree with that. But the way that he dismisses Jenna's feelings, I don't feel is healthy for their relationship. Whenever she opens up and she tries to tell him how she feels, he responds with, "Oh, you're stupid, you're dramatic, you're offending me, you're annoying." Those are not words that you use to build strong communication. Those are words that you use to shut the other person down.
So I was thinking a lot about this, and I think that maybe she shouldn't have invited Aiden. And the reason why I say that is because things weren't great in their relationship. So they actually needed to talk and heal themselves. So for her to say, "Hey, come on this vacation," first of all, she knows he doesn't like, the mom. And that was already going to be awkward. They're not even that strong right now. They don't have that strong bond because they're having a lot of falling out. So I think that they should have, like, if they had 7 days or 8 days or however long their vacation was, they should have split it in half. Like you said, they should have maybe did a couple days with this, a couple days with just them. Because now the end result, they're going to lose their relationship because they weren't strong when they came on it. He was very vocal and clear that he did not want to come. So you're forcing somebody to do something you know for a fact they don't want to do. And I'm not siding with Aiden. I think that he was being very immature. I think being an adult, working, having a kid, having a relationship, sometimes you have to just suck it up and put on your big boy pants and do things that you don't want to do. That goes for everybody, not just him, but everybody in general. I know he doesn't like Heather, but she is trying. And as long as the cameras are rolling, like I said, we don't know what's happening behind closed doors, but when the cameras are rolling, I don't see that anybody is doing anything negative to anybody. They're trying to enjoy each other's company. They're trying to, do these activities and stuff. He's not even giving it a try because he's so busy pouting. Yeah. And it's like, why don't you just enjoy the fact that you're alive, that you're healthy, that you're with your girlfriend, that you love, that you're with your son? Like, just enjoy the moment. It might not be your ideal Disney World vacation, but you're all together and you're just enjoy the now.
Yeah, that was the theme of the trip because Heather and Matt, with their history, they're just enjoying the fact that they can be there with Luca and their daughter and be happy.
Exactly.
And Aiden is just caught up in the past. He remembers the things that Heather said about him when Jenna and Aiden were dating and the negative things that she did. But in order to move forward, in order to progress in life and as a person, sometimes you have to forgive. And sometimes you don't even need to forgive. You just need to forget and move on. Heather is now making an effort to correct her actions in the past, and Aiden is not willing to set forth that same effort. And you can never move forward when someone is stuck in the past. And yes, she probably did say some pretty mean things about him in the past. And, I'm pretty sure Jenna's parents may have said mean things about him in the past, too. When your teenage daughter brings a guy home, you're usually not going to be singing his praises. You're going to notice some red flags right away and kind of discourage the relationship. I just want him to be a little more mature. And I know being a man makes it difficult to open up and say how you feel, but sometimes you just have to say how you feel and be honest and talk to the person that you're with and make sure that they understand what you're going through. I feel like what he's going through might explain why he's behaving that way, but he refuses to tell anyone what it is. So it comes off as he's just being a douchebag, but he may be going through something emotionally, but unfortunately, no one knows because he won't open up and say what's going on. There might be a way to help alleviate his inner pain or interpersonal depression that he's going through, but instead of giving people the heads up of what's going on. He just says, shut up and you're annoying and get away from me and I don't like your family. And, you know, those are not going to solve what's going on.
I think that they should have used this trip as a healing process for everybody. We see this all the time on TV shows where they have sit downs and get togethers and they build trips, and the trips are solely just based on healing. If, you know, if Heather and Matt, if they can come together and they can heal after all these years of like hatred and not getting along, then I don't see why Aiden can't use this time to try to heal and say, hey, you know what, Heather, Matt, whatever, you hurt me when you said this stuff. And then they could have said, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just upset because my daughter was a teenager and I was upset because she was pregnant, whatever the situation was. And then they could have healed. But instead, pouting and not opening up to people is causing more pain and grief. And you're never going to heal from it because people don't know that you're hurting. But
exactly.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Guys, again, the most important person here is Luca. Think about Luca. So whenever you're thinking of anger or sadness or animosity, think about Luca, and babies can pick up on that. And children know about that type of those feelings towards others, and you don't want that for him. You don't want that for Luca. So I hope you guys will make a good decision. Regardless of if you end up together or not, I want to see you guys get along, co-parent, and understand and hear each other and understand each other. All right, guys, that's it for part 2. We will be back next week for Unexpected episode 13. We're so close to the tell-all and finale. This has been a pretty crazy season. And also next week, returning to see what's going on with Kylan and Jason, which everyone is itching to know how they are doing right now. And then on the tell-all, we will actually find out their relationship status and things like that. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you all next week. And make sure you live tweet with us every Sunday night. See you guys later.